All right, we got 5 minutes to talk about emails that don't connect to the prospect's company or their LinkedIn page or anything. Not a great title for it, but basically, AJ, I know you get these a lot. The prospecting emails where SDRs send you something, their signature's bare, you can't find them on LinkedIn, you can't really find their company. I'm already annoyed just talking about it. Tell me how you really feel about these things.
Yeah, I think we might be on the same page here. The whole point of being an SDR, this is something that we've talked about on different podcasts, plugging the SD Realness podcast. But we've talked about the idea of like paving the market with trust. Like your job as an SDR realistically is to get in front of as many people as you can with compelling messaging to the point where they are interested in learning more about your product. You're putting yourself out there and drawing people in, lead generation, generating leads. When an SDR does that and they don't provide enough context or ability for someone to research the company or the person on their own, they're kind of just like tossing a message out there and hoping that somebody catches it, but it's in one of those like wind tunnels where it's really difficult to like the money funnel thing you see where you're trying to grab as many dollar bills on the Price is Right or whatever. It's impossible. And like they don't make it easy for you to learn more about them or their company or any of the value they can provide to you. And it's like, I don't want to do that. That's not my job to learn more about you and to understand the value. That's your job as the SDR to relay that to me in a way that makes sense. So I don't like it.
100%. Quick aside, I did get to go in one of those at a school assembly once in middle school.
Oh, really?
It's hard to catch the money. It's hard.
So difficult, right?
It's hard to do. And I think it sort of stems from sort of the old days of being an SDR or even just sales outreach where, we weren't also interconnected. There wasn't really LinkedIn databases or anything. And you'd reach out and the person would reach back out and that's when you'd start to get to know them. But the buyer's journey has changed so much that doesn't happen anymore. Now the buyer needs to know already about your company. They'd prefer to know who you are after you reach out before actually talking to you. Mm-hmm. So in order to sort of accommodate that and facilitate that so that the buyer is comfortable, you really have to make those adjustments and put, the right links in the email, have a LinkedIn presence. You don't have to post a lot on LinkedIn. Some SDRs really don't like to do that. Some really do. But having like an up-to-date profile, a professional photo, things like that really go a long way in getting those emails to come through. And then on top of that, if it doesn't look like there's a real person behind the email, I'll just assume it's not a real person behind the email.
Yeah.
It's just a random name they chose, put it on a mail merge and send it out. And that's obviously never going to have as good a results as a real outreach.
For sure. Yeah, it's funny. Like every time I get an email from an SDR, and I know it doesn't matter who they are as a person, but instinctively I go on LinkedIn and I look them up. And it doesn't matter, like you said, if they have a huge LinkedIn presence, if they're commenting everywhere and sort of trying to become that industry thought leader, or if they've got one or two posts. It really doesn't matter. I just want to know they exist, right? Like I just want to know that that's a real person on the other end of this email who's talking to me, a real person who has challenges and pains and goals, and they're trying to solve it. There's like a lack of humanization when it comes to what we had talked about earlier, the being unsearchable or just not connecting the dots for me. When that lack of humanization exists, I'm way less inclined to learn more about you or your company, or even do the research on my own to see if there's a fit. Like if you can dangle something in front of me, like a bit of the cookie, and the message is compelling enough where I want to take the whole bite, good for you. Because then I'm doing the right research on my end. I'm going to your website, I'm downloading ebooks and stuff. But when you don't dangle the cookie and you're just like, just air there, I'm not going to take a bite. You didn't give me anything to bite.
Right. It's not like you're an actual dog where they think you have food when you just do the motion with your hand, right?
They're like, oh, he did this, I have to sit. Like, no, I'm not going to listen to you.
I will say, just to play devil's advocate or to try to, I think there probably are some industries that don't quite operate this way, that really do rely on cold outreach over the phone or over email to start the conversation. So it's definitely important to know your buyers and the personas and ICP that you're reaching out to. But as we keep moving further into the future, I think just more and more buyers will want to know more before touching base than ever before. So it's definitely
100%.
best practice moving forward. All right, AJ, 15 seconds. Tell everybody about opt-in.
Opt-in, quick 5-ish minute videos, actionable sales development tips, minimal fluff. You can find us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on our Instagram, and on the website, demanddrive.com.
You look more like one of those like a cartoon beach goer of some kind. Like you're ready to hit the beach.
From like the 20s. Come on, kids. Like this is my mob hat. This is my summer mob hat. The black one's back in the city, but this one's for the beach. Going to Coney Island today, boys.
Okay.